Good evening and salutations, my General Hospital fans. First of all, once again, I want to apologize that this review is coming out so late. I was actually home today. I was working from home, and around 3 o'clock, started watching it, and of course, they interrupted it again. And, so I was like, you know what, I'll just watch it at 8 o'clock. And, here we are. So hopefully, going forward for the next 2 days, I probably will be covering the flashback. Yeah, I'll be covering the flashback because they're kind of fun. Going forward for the next 2 days, hopefully there's no news interruptions. I'll be covering it on time like usual. So let's get into it. You had Sam and you had Alexis, and you had Diane. Diane set up the meeting. At first it was just Diane and Alexis. Let me turn this down a little bit. Yeah, Diane and Alexis just talking, and then Sam came in, and Diane was saying, "You keep avoiding Sam. You need to sit there and talk to her. You need to sit there and tell her what's going on." Sam was like, "What do you mean what's going on?" Diane was about to leave, and then Alexis was like, "No. You set up this half-ass intervention. You sit your ass right back down. You're gonna sit there and deal with the fallout." Soon Sam heard the word intervention. She was like, "What the hell is going on?" And Alexis was like, "Well, that night that we argued and stuff, I had a drink." Now, Sam is really apologetic. She's really sorry and everything like that. And Alexis was like, "Well, this had nothing to do with you. I'm just going to sit there and stop right there." It had everything to do with her, because she's the one that actually brought that up. She's the one that actually called her mother to help her out of a jam that she caused. And because, Alexis told Sam something that she didn't want to hear, she decides to go off on her and just rip right into her. So of course she started drinking. So yes, it's Sam's fault that she's drunk. Don't get me wrong, everyone makes their choices in this world, and no one put a gun to her head and told her, "Well, you have to drink." Sam didn't put a gun to her head, didn't make her, didn't force her. We all choose our own actions, but sometimes you can be pushed by other people. So Alexis basically sits there and says, "Listen, it has nothing to do with you. I was dealing with a lot before." And then she basically says that she lied on an oath, and that she had relations with Neil. And so Diana's like, "What the hell? So you lied on the oath, but no one knows, right? I mean, we're good, right?" It's like, no. Britt knows, and Julian knows, because Britt told Julian, and Julian attacked Neil, and Neil told everyone at the damn hospital. Just shouted it out in front of the whole staff. And Diane's like, "Well, all we could do is that we hopefully that it blows over, but if not, you need to start going to some meetings." And Sam was like, "Well, I'll drive you." And that pretty much kind of ended that. So, Chase and Sasha start to regret what they did. Sasha's like, "Listen, maybe we can go after them and try to just smooth this thing over. We won't be good for a while. We probably won't be hanging out again. But you know what? We'll still have the people in our lives that we love." Chase is like, "Listen, we may have them, but they won't be happy. As long as Wiley is in danger of Nell, they won't be happy. And we can't do that to them. I won't do that to them. I won't do that to her." So here's the thing. Again, I understand where they're going with this whole thing, but this is like classic soap opera drama, just to kind of like mix up the whole, the status quo of the relationships. And hell, Sasha's like, "Listen, you know what's going to wind up happening? They're going to be married, and in 3 years, Willow is going to be madly in love with Michael." And what's really sad? Not only that she said that, but Chase didn't even fucking disagree. He was just like, You know, before that, they were sitting there talking about how much they love their significant others and blah, 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 blah. They regret it. But, you know, Chase is just like, you know what, listen, I gotta be strong. I'm doing this for her. And, this is just how it has to be. And then, you know, on the other flip side of town, you have Willow and Michael meeting at the bar to go over the testimony. Willow's like, listen, just to let you know, Sasha and Chase has been cheating on us. And Michael just has that expression on his face. He's just like, I'm sorry, what? Literally. She says the line, and he's just like, I'm sorry, what? Because he, you know, he just really didn't see our shit coming. So, you know, Willow explains, you know, Chase's side and how he wasn't really ready for marriage and stuff like that. He wasn't ready for a child, and she was. And then as soon as she said that, Michael was like, you know, come to think about it, Sasha wasn't really all committed either. She wasn't really ready to be instant family and stuff like that. You know, she just got this new career, and in a little flashback that they did, you know, Sasha was like, listen, we don't have to decide on everything right now. Let's just take it one day at a time. And so, for a good part of 5 minutes, or a good 7 minutes, they start blaming each other. What they did was wrong. You know, like what they did wrong, what they could have did to prevent it, the signs of their significant other slipping away, and how they didn't notice it, and things of that nature. So they go through that whole emotional roller coaster together. And then Michael's like, you know what, listen, you can't go back to Chase's house. I'm gonna set you up in the Metro Court. And you know, they say Michael says something along the lines of, listen, let's just say how we feel. Let's not do what they did. Let's do things differently. Then they walk out. Willow goes to the bar. Well, Willow goes to New Metro Court, goes to the bar, sees Nina, and they start talking. Nina's all like, well, you know, you seem like there's something bothering you, and I know I don't have to, you know, I know that we don't have the best track record. Bitch, you don't have the best track record because you was acting like a fucking snobbish bitch that wanted to get Willow fired because your precious daughter-in-law or your precious stepdaughter can do no wrong, and Willow was just being a fucking bully. So when she said that, it was like, it just really fucking irritates me, and I can go on and on about that, but I'm not. Okay, so Nina's like, you know, listen, is there something bothering you? Can I call Chase? And Willow's like, yeah, that's the last person that I want to see. And Nina's like, why? Willow's like, well, he cheated on me with Sasha. Nell walks in the bar. I guess she probably has the papers or whatever. Nell walks in the bar and is like, oh, this is interesting. You know, like had that, you know, that scheming look. Pause for a second. Okay, here's something that's a little interesting. So in the beginning of the episode, you had Nell and Nina talking. And Nell was like, you know, I always, you know, she's talking about the, you know, working and stuff like that, because she's not going to be, you know, she's staying late because when she gets Wiley, she's not going to be staying late much longer. And Nina's like, are you sure? Like you just that confident that you're going to win? And Nell's like, yeah, you know, I'm sure of it. And, you know, I'm gonna give Wiley everything that I never had. I'm gonna give him a white picket fence with a swing. And Nina was like, yeah, that's what I wanted when I was growing up. So they start talking and stuff like that, and they seem like they start bonding a little bit about what they wanted and stuff like that when they were younger and stuff. And, you know, Nina must have been fucking surprised, because Nina was like, listen, if you know, just word of advice, if there's a way to compromise, do it, because I see Lulu and Valentine going at each other's throats, and they're forgetting about what's important, which is Charlotte. Don't have the same mistake. And I was like, listen, I've been trying to compromise with Michael for a while, but every time I say something, he just throws up my past in my face and starts playing victim. And, well, you know, Nina starts to believe it. I feel like the surprised look on her face, Nina starts to actually believe the lies and things like that Nella's saying. Now, I find it funny because in the beginning, she was telling Carly, oh, she's not going to snow me. She's going to try to play the victim. And, I'm just not going to fall for it. And I watched this episode, and she's all like, oh, really? Oh, wow. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you really... Was it like 5 minutes? Okay, okay. So, clearly, she's not actually as smart and savvy as she thinks she is. Because Nina is getting played by now, and, she doesn't even know it. So, last thing that I'm going to sit there and talk about is the scenes with Sonny and Liz. So, Liz comes to Turning Woods to visit Mike, Sonny's there and stuff like that. And, Liz says a couple of things. She does something that's really interesting. So, Sonny's not there saying, well, he's not eating, he's not drinking and stuff like that. Sonny tries to get him to drink, and he's just not wanting it. Liz tries to give him a drink, and he doesn't want it. But what Liz does, I don't know if this shit is real or fake, but Liz takes a cloth and dips it in the water and, hands it to Mike and puts it in his mouth a little bit, tells him to hold it, and, Mike starts putting it in his mouth, whatever, the wet cloth. And, Liz explains to Sonny that, with Alzheimer's, your mind doesn't just go. Your mind doesn't just forget stuff, but your body forgets stuff too. And that is fucking scary as hell. Basically Snit is saying that he's forgetting how to like chew and swallow and all the other stuff. All the stuff that Sonny probably did not want to hear, but he had to. And so, Liz says some stuff to Mike. And just as Liz gets up, Mike is like, hi, he says hi to her or whatever. And then he's like, I'm just tired. Like, I'm really tired. And I don't know if this is like a metaphor for shadowing. Like, he's just tired of just dealing with this. Like, he's just wanted to be over. This is coming from yesterday's episode. Like, he just wanted to be over. And so, Liz says, get some rest. Liz brings Sonny outside, and Liz is like, after she explains those things to him, she's like, have you thought about, end of life care? I'm not gonna even start doing what I did yesterday if you watched, but it was just really tough for Sonny to hear, and it was really tough for me to sit there and hear. And it's probably really tough for a lot of people to hear. If anyone who's ever went through that with a loved one, dealing with decisions like hospice and stuff like that, it's not something that you want to hear. And so, Sonny is kind of like hesitant about that. It's like, are we really sure it's coming to that? Because, whatever. And, Liz explains to Sonny that it's good for both of them. It's good for Mike because he actually has extra support. He doesn't actually have to leave where he's at. Those people are going to come to him. It's going to set up everything, and it's going to have a whole team of people that are trained in dealing, with patients like that. And it's going to give Sonny the breathing room, so that way he doesn't have to sit there and be worrying so much about, is he going to be eating, is he going to be falling and stuff like that. He's going to have people with him to take care of him, which is kind of weird because I kind of thought that Turning Woods was a place for that, but okay. I guess this is gonna be the, I don't know. Anyway, that's what Liz is Smith is saying. He's gonna have a team of people this way. He doesn't have to sit there and worry about walking and stuff like that. And like if he's gonna fall and have a seizure, he's gonna actually have people there to specifically deal with that. Maybe Turning Woods, they're just not really trained in dealing with inner life care and the final stages of Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's. So yeah. After Liz explains to Sonny, they hug each other. Liz leaves. Sonny comes back. Sonny is just sitting there, and it's kind of a heartbreaking scene a little bit because Sonny's like, you need to eat. He has his famous pasta and stuff like that. And he's like, oh well, it's just, Olivia's is almost as good as mine. And Mike finally wakes up a little bit, and Sonny's like, listen, we could just have one bite at a time, nothing crazy. And so Mike starts eating a little bit for Sonny, and again, it's just a really, really, really sad scene. And I'm talking nearly This Is Us kind of moment. Again, if you didn't watch This Is Us, watch This Is Us. It's a great show. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Just those self-contained stuff that happens, and like with Sasha. Oh, my bad. One other thing. Michael comes in. I can't believe I forgot this. So after, I guess he drops off Willow to the Metro Court, Michael starts banging on the door, on Chase's door, and Sasha's there or whatever. He's like, yo, open up. Chase is like, Sasha, you ready for this? So Chase opens up the door, and Michael is just like, what the hell is going on? I want answers. He was like, yo, listen, I have a lot of answers, but I have a lot of questions, but my main question right now is, when did this happen? And, Sasha explains, I meant Chase. I felt like I was being, basically she was saying that she felt like she was being shut out. And the last thing that she meant to do was hurt you, and I'm sorry. And then she does her little run out the room scene, her little run out the room syndrome. It's the same shit that she did yesterday when she was confronting Willow. When Willow was standing there, she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then she started just running out the room. Like, I don't know. It just seemed kind of fucking cheap to me. And she did the exact same thing. She was like, I'm feeling shut out. And, I never meant to hurt you and stuff like that. And, me and him, we just got together. And then she walked out. And, here's the thing. Michael said some stuff. Here's the thing. Usually in these situations, there's a fight that ensues with the two guys and stuff like that. Fighting over a girl, fist fighting over a girl and stuff like that. Michael was like, listen, I'm gonna hurt you with words. And he was just like, you're my closest friend here, but whatever. It sucks, but I've been through worse. But how could you do that to Willow? Willow believed in you. You were Willow's everything, and this is how you do her. Like, and Chase wasn't even looking at him at that point, and you saw the tears that was like coming down like one of his eyes and stuff like that. And this is one of those, he had to sit there and try to be strong, but also it broke him. And he was just like, how could you do that to her? And so Chase turns around and says something. I don't honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember what he says, but it's some sort of deflection, like, yeah, I know. And Michael's all up in his face or whatever. And then Michael says something like, listen, this shit that you're doing with Willow, you hurting her, it stops today. And then he pushes Chase, and I'm like, okay, I didn't see that coming. Then he just walks out. And the sad part? is that the push was nothing compared to the words that he said. You know, the fact that, you know, he was like, how could you do that to her? You know, she's been through so much, you know. She's literally lost a child, and she thought that you were her everything, and that's how you do her. And it broke him. And, yeah. He walks out. Chase starts crying, and that pretty much kind of ends the scene. Oh, shit. So, yeah, that pretty much kind of just does it for this recap of GH. Again, sorry it's coming out so late. It's actually coming out so late I'm in bed, and it's like 9:40. But, anyway, hopefully tomorrow. Oh, shit. Hopefully tomorrow they don't do any interruptions on GH. I could watch it at 3 o'clock and, you know, put out my review or my recap shortly after. So, I can't talk like this. Anyway, this is gonna do it. This is gonna, that was pretty much, bleh. This is the end of the recap for GH. Man, I'm fucking tired. This is the end of the recap for GH. So, listen, thank you for everyone who's been watching my videos, who's been rocking with me, who's been liking, commenting, stuff like that. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate the subs. And, you know, I'm not one of those type of people that's like, oh, you know, we got up to like 14 million subscribers. And, you know, I appreciate every single person who watches my videos and who subs to them. And, you know, it means a lot. So, with that being said, thank you for watching the video. Be safe, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next recap.